Hey guys, I'm gonna read Psalms part 3, start at chapter 73. God is truly good to Israel, to those pure in heart. As for me, my feet had almost strayed, my steps had nearly slipped, for I became envious of the arrogant when I would see the peace of the wicked, for they have no pain in their death. Their bodies are healthy, they are not troubled like other humans, nor do they suffer like other men. Therefore, haughtiness is their necklace. Violence clothes them as a garment. Their prosperity makes their eyes bulge. They have exceeded the imaginations of the heart. They scoff and say evil things. They arrogantly threaten oppression. They speak as if they were as high as heaven, and their tongues swagger about in the earth. So his people turn aside to them, and they drink with their abundant water. They say, "How does God know? Does the Most High really have knowledge?" Yes, there are the wicked who always have it easy. They keep increasing their wealth. Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure, and washed my hands in innocence. And I was troubled all day long. Every morning I was chastised. But if had said these things, I would have betrayed your people. When I tried to understand it, it was troubling me, until I entered the grand sanctuary of God, and I discerned their future. Surely you placed them on slippery ground. You would make them fall to their ruin. How suddenly they are devastated. How sudden is their finish as they come to a terrible end. Like a dream, when one wakes up, O Jehovah, when you rouse yourself, you will dismiss their image. But my heart was sour, and deep inside I felt sharp pain. I was unreasoning and lacked understanding. I was like a senseless beast before you. But now I am continually with you. You have taken hold of my right hand. You give me advice. You guide me with your advice, and afterward you will lead me to glory. Whom do I have in the heavens? And besides you, I desire nothing on earth. My body and my heart may fail, but God is the rock of my heart and my portion forever. Truly, those keeping far from you will perish. You put an end to everyone who immorally leaves you. But as for me, drawing near to God is good for me. I have made the sovereign Lord Jehovah my refuge, to declare all your works. Chapter 74. Why, O God, have you rejected us forever? Why does your anger burn against the flock of your pasture? Remember the people you acquired long ago, the tribe you redeemed as your inheritance. Remember Mount Zion, where you have resided. Direct your steps to the perpetual ruins. The enemy has devastated everything in the holy place. Your foes roared inside your meeting place. They have set up their own banners as signs there. They were like men wielding axes against a thick forest. They broke up all its engravings with axes and iron bars. They set your sanctuary on fire. They profaned the tabernacle bearing your name, casting it to the ground. They and their offspring have said in their hearts, all the meeting places of God in the land must be burned. There are no signs for us to see. There is no longer any prophet, and no one among us knows how long this will last. How long, O God, will the adversary keep taunting? Will the enemy treat your name with disrespect forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Draw it out of your bosom and put an end to them. But God is my King from long ago, the one performing acts of salvation on the earth. You stirred up the sea with your strength. You smashed the heads of the sea monsters in the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. You gave it as food to the people, to those inhabiting the deserts. You cut openings for the springs and the streams. You dried up ever-flowing rivers. The day belongs to you, also the night. You made the light and the sun. You set up all the boundaries of the earth. You made summer and winter. Remember the enemy's taunts, O Jehovah, how a foolish people treat your name with disrespect. Do not surrender the life of your turtle dove to the wild beast. Do not forget the life of the afflicted people forever. Remember the covenant, for the dark places of the earth have become full of haunts of violence. May the crushed one not turn away disappointed. May the lowly and the poor praise your name. Rise up, O God, and plead your case. Remember how the foolish taunt you all day long. Do not forget what your foes are saying. The uproar of those who defy you is ascending constantly. Chapter 75. We give thanks to you, O God, we give thanks to you. Your name is near, and people declare your wondrous works. You say, when I set a time, I judge with fairness. When the earth and all its inhabitants were dissolved, it was I who kept its pillars firm. I say to the boastful, do not boast, and to the wicked, do not exalt your strength. Do not exalt your strength up high, or speak with arrogance. For exaltation does not come from the east, or the west, or the south. For God is judge. He puts one man down and exalts another. For there is a cup in Jehovah's hand. The wine is foaming and is fully mixed. He will surely pour it out, and all the wicked of the earth will drink it down to the dregs. But as for me, I will proclaim it forever. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob. For he says, I will cut off all the strength of the wicked, but the strength of the righteous will be exalted. Chapter 76. God is known in Judah, in Israel. His name is great. His shelter is in Salem, and his dwelling is in Zion, where he broke the flaming arrows of the bow, the shield and the sword and the weapons of war. You shine brightly, you are more majestic than the mountains of prey. The courageous of heart have been plundered. They have fallen asleep. The warriors were all helpless. From your rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the charioteer and the horse have fallen fast asleep. You alone are awe-inspiring. Who can withstand your intense anger? From heaven you pronounced judgment. The earth was afraid and was silent. When God rose up to execute judgment to save all the meek of the earth, for the rage of man will serve to your praise. With the remnants of their rage will adorn yourself. You will adorn yourself. Make your vows to Jehovah your God and pay them. Let all who are around him bring their gift in fear. He will humble the pride of leaders. He inspires fear in the kings of the earth. Chapter 77. With my voice I will cry out to God. To God I will cry out, and he will hear me. In the day of my distress I search for Jehovah. At night my hands are stretched out to him without ceasing. I cannot be comforted. When I remember God, I groan. I am troubled and my strength fails. You hold my eyelids open. I am agitated and cannot speak. My thoughts turn to the days of long ago, the years of the distant past. During the night I remember my song. I ponder in my heart. I make a diligent search. Will Jehovah cast us off forever? Will he never again show his favor? Has his loyal love ceased forever? Will his promise come to nothing for all generations? Has God forgotten to show his favor? Or has his anger caused his mercy to cease? Must I keep saying, This is what distresses me. The Most High has changed his position toward us. I will remember the works of Yah. I will remember your marvelous deeds of long ago, and I will meditate on all your activity and ponder over your dealings. O God, your ways are holy. What God is as great as you, O God? You are the true God who does marvelous things. You have revealed your strength to the peoples. With your power you have rescued your people, the sons of Jacob and of Joseph. The waters saw you, O God. The waters saw you and were disturbed, and the deep waters became agitated. The clouds poured down water, the cloudy skies thundered, and your arrows flew here and there. The sound of your thunder was like chariot wheels. Flashes of lightning lit up the inhabited earth. The earth trembled and quaked. Your way was through the sea, your path through many waters, but your footprints could not be traced. You led your people just like a flock. In the care of Moses and Aaron, chapter 78. Listen, my people, to my law. Incline your ear to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a proverb. I will propound riddles of long ago, the things we have heard and know, which our fathers have related to us. We will not hide from their sons. We will relate to the generation to come the praiseworthy deeds of Jehovah and his strength, the wonderful things he has done. He established a reminder in Jacob and set a law in Israel. He commanded our forefathers to make these things known to their children, so that the next generation, the children yet to be born, might know them. They in turn would relate them to their children. Then these would put their confidence in God. They would not forget God's works, but would observe his commandments. They would not be like their forefathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation, a generation whose heart was unsteady and whose spirit was not faithful to God. The Ephraimites were armed with the bow, but they retreated in the day of battle. They did not keep the covenant of God and refused to walk in his law. They also forgot what he had done, his wonderful works that he showed them. He did marvelous things in the sight of their forefathers in the land of Egypt, the region of Zoan. He split the sea to let them pass through, and he made the waters stand up like a dam. He led them with a cloud by day, and the whole night with the light of a fire. He split rocks in the wilderness. He let them drink their fill as if from deep waters. He brought streams out of a crag and caused waters to flow down like rivers. They continue to sin against him by rebelling against the Most High in the desert. They challenged God in their heart by demanding food that they craved. So they spoke against God, saying, "Can God spread a table in the wilderness? Look, he struck a rock so that waters flowed and streams flooded out. Can he also give us bread, or can he provide meat for his people?" When Jehovah heard them, he became furious. Fire blazed against Jacob, and his anger flared up against Israel. Because they did not put faith in God, they did not trust in his ability to save them. So he commanded the cloudy skies above and opened the doors of heaven. He kept raining down manna for them to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven. Men ate the bread of mighty ones. He provided enough to satisfy them. He stirred up the east wind in the heavens, and made a south wind blow by his power. And he rained down meat on them like dust, birds like the sand of the seashore. He made them fall in the midst of his camp, all around his tents, and they ate and gorged themselves. He gave them what they desired, but before they fully satisfied their craving, while their food was yet in their mouth, God's wrath flared up against them. He put to death their strongest men. He brought down the young men of Israel. Despite this, they sinned even more and did not put faith in his wonderful works. So he brought their days to an end as if a mere breath, and their years by sudden terrors. But as often as he killed them, they would search for him. They would return and look for God, remembering that God was their rock and that the Most High God was their Redeemer. But they tried to deceive him with their mouth and lied to him with their tongue. And their heart was not steadfast toward him, and they were not faithful to his covenant. But he was merciful. He would forgive their error and not bring them to ruin. He often held back his anger instead of stirring up all his wrath, for he remembered that they were flesh, a wind that blows past and does not return. How often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and made him feel hurt in the desert. Again and again they put God to the test, and they grieved the Holy One of Israel. They did not remember his power. The day that he rescued them from the adversary, how he displayed his signs in Egypt and his miracles in the region of Zoan, and how he turned the Nile canals into blood so that they could not drink from their streams. He sent swarms of gadflies to devour them and frogs to bring them to ruin. He gave their crops to the voracious locust, the fruit of their labor to the swarming locust. He destroyed their vines with hail, and their sycamore trees with hailstones. He gave their beasts of burden over to the hail, and their livestock to the lightning bolts. He inflicted his burning anger on them, fury and indignation and distress, companies of angels bringing calamity. He cleared a pathway for his anger. He did not spare them from death, and he gave them over to pestilence. Finally, he struck down all the firstborn of Egypt, the beginning of the procreative power in the tents of Ham. Then he brought his people out like a flock, and he guided them like a drove in the wilderness. He led them in security, and they felt no fear. The sea covered their enemies, and he brought them to his holy territory, this mountainous region that his right hand acquired. He drove out the nations from before them. He allotted to them an inheritance by the measure line. He settled the tribes of Israel in their homes, but they kept challenging God the Most High and rebelling against him. They did not pay attention to his reminders. They also turned away and were as treacherous as their forefathers. They were as unreliable as a loose bow. They kept offending him with their high places, and they incited him to fury with their carved image. God heard and became furious, so he utterly rejected Israel. He finally forsook the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent where he had resided among men. He let the symbol of his strength go into captivity, his splendor into the hand of the adversary. He handed over his people to the sword and became furious with his inheritance. Fire consumed his young men, and to his virgins no wedding songs were sung. His priests fell by the sword, and their own widows did not weep. Then Jehovah woke up as from sleep, like a mighty man walking up from wine, and he drove his adversaries back. He put them to lasting disgrace. He rejected the tent of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim, but he chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loves. He made his sanctuary as enduring as the heavens. Like the earth that he has established forever, he chose David his servant and took him from the sheep pens, from tending the nursing ewes. He made him the shepherd over Jacob, his people, and over Israel, his inheritance. He shepherded them with integrity of heart, and with skillful hands he led them. Chapter 79. O God, the nations have invaded your inheritance. They have defiled your holy temple. They have turned Jerusalem into a heap of ruins. They have given the dead bodies of your servants as food to the birds of the heavens, in the flesh of your loyal ones, the wild beasts of the earth. They have poured out their blood like water around Jerusalem, and no one is left to bury them. We have become an object of reproach to our neighbors. Those around us ridicule and jeer us. How long, O Jehovah, will you be furious forever? How long will your indignation burn just like fire? Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not know you, and on the kingdoms that do not call on your name, for they have devoured Jacob and desolated his homeland. Do not hold us accountable for the errors of our ancestors. Quickly show us your mercy, for we have been brought very low. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the sake of your glorious name. Rescue us and forgive our sins for the sake of your name. Why should the nations say, where is their God? Before our eyes many may become known among the nations, that the shed blood of your servants has been avenged. May you hear the sighing of the prisoner. Use your great power to preserve those sentenced to death. Repay our neighbors sevenfold for the taunts they have leveled at you, O Jehovah. Then we, your people, and the flock of your pasture will give thanks to you forever, and we will declare your praise from generation to generation. Chapter 80. O shepherd of Israel, listen, you who are guiding Joseph just like a flock, you who sit enthroned above the cherubs, shine forth before Ephraim and Benjamin and Manasseh. Do not stir up your mightiness. Come and save us, O God, restore us. Let your face shine upon us so that we may be saved. Jehovah, God of armies, how long will you be hostile toward the prayer of your people? You feed them tears as their bread, and you make them drink tears beyond measure. You let our neighbors quarrel over us, our enemies mocking us as they please. O God of armies, restore us. Let your face shine upon us so that we may be saved. You made a vine depart from Egypt. You drove out the nations and planted it. You cleared a space for it, and it took root and filled the land. The mountains were covered by its shadow, and the cedars of God by its branches. Its branches reached as far as the sea, and its shoots to the river. Why have you broken down the stone walls of the vineyard, so that all those passing by pluck its fruit? The boars of the forest ravage it, and the wild animals of the field feed on it. O God of armies, please return. Look down from heaven and see. Take care of this vine, the stalk that has your right hand has planted. The stalk that your right hand has planted, and look upon the son whom you made strong for yourself. It is burned with fire, cut down, they perish at your rebuke. May your hand give support to the man at your right hand. to the Son of Man you have made strong for yourself. Then we will not turn away from you. Preserve us alive so that we may call on your name. O Jehovah of armies, restore us. Let your face shine upon us so that we may be saved. Chapter 81. Shout joyfully to God our strength. Shout in triumph to the God of Jacob. Begin the music and take a tambourine, the melodious harp, together with the stringed instrument. Blow the horn on the new moon, on the full moon for the day of our festival. For it is a decree for Israel, a ruling of the God of Jacob. He established it as a reminder for Joseph when he went out against the land of Egypt. I heard a voice that I did not recognize. I lifted the burden from his shoulder. His hands were freed from the basket. In the distress you called, and I rescued you. I answered you from the thundercloud. I tested you at the waters of Meribah. Hear my people, and I will testify against you. O Israel, if you would only listen to me. Among you there will be no strange God, and you will not bow down to a foreign God. I, Jehovah, am your God, the one who brought you out of the land of Egypt. Open your mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people did not listen to my voice. Israel would not submit to me, so I let them follow their stubborn hearts. They did what they thought was right. If only people would listen to me, if only Israel would walk in my ways, their enemies I would quickly subdue. I would turn my hand against their adversaries. Those who hate Jehovah will cringe in his presence, and their outcome will be forever. But he will feed you with the finest wheat and satisfy you with honey from the rock. Chapter 82. God takes his place in the divine assembly. In the middle of the gods he judges. How long will you continue to judge with injustice and show partiality to the wicked? Defend the lowly and the fatherless. Render the justice to the helpless and destitute. Rescue the lowly and the poor. Save them out of the hand of the wicked. They do not know, nor do they understand. They are walking about in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are being shaken. I have said, you are gods. All of you are sons of the Most High. But you will die just as men do. And like any other prince, you will fall. Rise up, O God, and judge the earth. For all the nations belong to you. Chapter 83. O God, do not be silent. Do not keep quiet or still, O Divine One. For look, your enemies are in an uproar. Those who hate you arrogantly, with cunning, they secretly plot against your people. They conspire against your treasured ones. They say, come, let us annihilate them as a nation, so that the name of Israel may be remembered no more. They devise a unified strategy. They have made an alliance against you. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagrites, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, Philistia, together with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria too has joined them. They give support to the sons of Lot. Do to them as you did to Midian, as you did to Sisera and Jabin. At the stream of Kishon, they were annihilated. At Endor, they became manure for the ground. Make their nobles like Oreb and Zeeb, and their princes like Zebah and Zalmunna. For they said, let us take possession of the land where God dwells. O my God, Make them like a whirling thistle, like stubble blown about by the wind, like a fire that burns up the forest, like a flame that scorches the mountains. So may you pursue them with your tempest and terrify them with your windstorm. Cover their faces with dishonor, so that they may search for your name, O Jehovah. May they be put to shame and terrified forever. May they be disgraced and perish. May people know that whose name is Jehovah. May people know that you, whose name is Jehovah, you alone are the most high over earth, all the earth. Chapter 84. How lovely your grand tabernacle is, O Jehovah of armies. My whole being yearns, for I am faint with longing for the courtyards of Jehovah. My heart and my flesh shout joyfully to the living God. Even the bird finds a home there, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she cares for her young near your grand altar, O Jehovah of armies, my King and my God. Happy are those dwelling in your house. They continue to praise you. Happy are the men who find their strength in you, whose hearts are set on the highways. When they pass through the Baca Valley, they make it into a place of springs, and the early rain clothes it. With blessings they will walk on from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. O Jehovah, God of armies, hear my prayer. Listen, O God of Jacob. Look, our shield and our God. Look upon the face of your anointed one. For a day in your courtyards is better than 1,000 anywhere else. I choose to stand at the threshold of the house of my God, rather than to dwell in the tents of the wickedness. For Jehovah is a sun and a shield. He gives favor and glory. Jehovah will not hold back anything good from those walking in integrity. O Jehovah of armies, happy is the man who trusts in you. Chapter 85. You have shown favor, O Jehovah, to your land. You brought back those of Jacob who were taken captive. You have pardoned the error of your people. You forgave all their sin. You held back all your fury. You turned away from your hot anger. Restore us, O God of our salvation, and set aside your displeasure with us. Will you be furious with us forever? Will you prolong your anger to generation after generation? Will you not revive us again, so that your people may rejoice in you? Show your loyal love to us, O Jehovah, and grant us your salvation. I will listen to what the true God Jehovah says, for he will speak peace to his people, to his loyal ones. But let them not return to overconfidence. Surely his salvation is near to those who fear him, so that his glory may reside in our land. Loyal love and faithfulness will meet together. Righteousness and peace will kiss each other. Faithfulness will sprout from the earth, and righteousness will look down from the heavens. Yes, Jehovah will give what is good, and our land will yield its harvest. Righteousness will walk before him and make a path for his footsteps. Chapter 86. Incline your ear, O Jehovah, and answer me, for I am afflicted and poor. Guard my life, for I am loyal, saving your servant who is trusting in you, for you are my God. Show me favor, O Jehovah, for I call to you all day long. Make your servant rejoice, for to you, O Jehovah, I turn. For you, O Jehovah, are good and ready to forgive. You abound in loyal love for all those who call on you. Listen, O Jehovah, to my prayer. and pay attention to my pleas for help. I call on you in the day of my distress, for you will answer me, and there is none like you among the gods, O Jehovah. There are no works like yours. All the nations that you made will come and bow down before you, O Jehovah, and they will give glory to your name, for you are great and do wondrous things. You are God, you alone instruct me, O Jehovah, about your way. I will walk in your truth. Unify my heart to fear your name. I praise you, O Jehovah, my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify your name forever. For your loyal love toward me is great, and you have saved my life from the depths of the grave. O God, presumptuous men rise up against me. A band of ruthless men seek to take my life, and they have no regard for you. But you, O Jehovah, are a God merciful and compassionate, slow to anger and abundant in loyal love and faithfulness. Turn to me and show me favor. Give your strength to your servant, and save the son of your slave girl. Show me a sign of your goodness, so that those who hate me may see it and be put to shame. For you, O Jehovah, are my helper and comforter. Chapter 87. His city's foundation is in the holy mountains. Jehovah loves the gates of Zion more than all the tents of Jacob. Glorious things are being said about you, O city of the true God. I will recount Rahab and Babylon among those who know me. Here are Philistia and Tyre together with Cush, and it will be said, this is one who was born there. And about Zion it will be said, each and every one was born in her. And the Most High will firmly establish her. Jehovah will declare when recording the peoples, this is one who was born there. Singers and those performing circle dances will say, all my springs are in you. Chapter 88. O Jehovah, the God of my salvation, by day I cry out, and by night I come before you. Let my prayer come to you. Incline your ear to my cry for help. For my soul has been filled with calamity, and my life is on the brink of the grave. I am already counted among those going down to the pit. I have become a helpless man, left among the dead like the slain lying in a grave, whom you remember no longer, and who have been separated from your care. You have put me in the lowest pit, in dark places, in a large abyss. Your rage weighs heavily on me, and you overwhelm me with your crashing waves. You have driven my acquaintance far away from me. You have made me something detestable to them. I am trapped and cannot escape, my eyes worn out because of my affliction. I call on you, O Jehovah, all day long. To you I spread out my hands. Will you perform wonders for the dead? Can those powers in death rise up to praise you? Will your loyal love be declared in the grave? Your faithfulness in the place of destruction? Will your wonders be known in the darkness, or your righteousness in the land of oblivion? But I still cry to you for help, O Jehovah. Each morning my prayer comes before you. Why, O Jehovah, do you reject me? Why do you hide your face from me? From my youth on, I have been afflicted and ready to perish. I am numb from the terrible things you allow me to suffer. Your burning anger overwhelms me. Your terrors destroy me. They surround me like waters all day long. They close in on me from all sides. You have driven my friends and companions far away from me. Darkness has become my companion. Chapter 89. I will sing about Jehovah's expressions of loyal love forever. With my mouth I will make known your faithfulness to all generations. For I have said, loyal love will be built up forever, and you have firmly established your faithfulness in the heavens. I have made a covenant with my chosen one. I have sworn to David, my servant. I will firmly establish your offspring forever, and I will build up your throne for all generations. The heavens praise your marvels, O Jehovah, yes, your faithfulness in the congregation of the holy ones. For who in the skies can compare to Jehovah? Who among the sons of God is like Jehovah? God is held in awe in the council of holy ones. He is grand and awe-inspiring to all who are around him. O Jehovah of armies, who is mighty like you, O Yah? Your faithfulness surrounds you. You roll over the raging of the sea. When it waves surge, you calm them. You have crushed Wahab like one who is slain. With your strong arm you have scattered your enemies. The heavens are yours, and the earth is yours, the productive land and what fills it, if you have found them. The north and the south, you created them. Tabor and Hermon joyously praise your name. Your arm is mighty, your right hand is strong, your right hand is exalted. Righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Loyal love and faithfulness stand before you. Happy are the ones who know the joyful shouting. O Jehovah, they walk in the light of your face. They rejoice in your name all day long, and in your righteousness they are exalted. For you are the glory of their strength, and by your approval our strength is exalted. For our shield belongs to Jehovah. Our king belongs to the Holy One of Israel. At that time you spoke in a vision to your loyal ones, and said, I have granted strength to a mighty one. I have a chosen one from among the people. I have found David my servant. With my holy oil I have anointed him. My hand will support him, and my arm will strengthen him. No enemy will exact tribute from him, and no unrighteous man will oppress him. I will crush to pieces his adversaries from before him, and strike down those who hate him. My faithfulness and loyal love are with him, and in my name his strength will be exalted. I will put his hand over the sea, and his right hand over the rivers. He will call out to me, you are my God, my Father, my God, and the rock of my salvation. And I will place him as firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth. I will maintain my loyal love for him forever, and my covenant with him will never fail. I will establish his offspring forever, and make his throne as enduring as the heavens. If his sons leave my law and do not walk according to my decrees, if they violate my statutes and do not keep my commandments, then I will punish their disobedience with a rod, and their error with a flogging. But I will never abandon my loyal love for him, nor be untrue to my promise. I will not violate my covenant or change what my lips have spoken. I have sworn in my holiness once and for all. I will not tell lies to David, and his offspring will endure forever. His throne will endure like the sun before me, like the moon. It will be firmly established forever, as a faithful witness in the skies. But you yourself have cast off and rejected him. You have become furious with your anointed one. You have spurned the covenant with your servant. You have profaned his crown by throwing it to the ground. You have broken down all his stone walls. You have reduced his fortifications to ruins. All who pass by have pillaged him. He is a reproach to his neighbors. You have made his adversaries victorious. You have caused all his enemies to rejoice. You have also driven back his sword, and you made him lose ground in the battle. You have brought an end to his splendor and hurled his throne to the ground. You have cut short the days of his youth. You have clothed him with shame. How long, O Jehovah, will you hide yourself? Will it be forever? Will your rage continue to burn like a fire? Remember how short my life is. Was it to no purpose that you created all humans? What man can live and never see death? Can he save himself from the power of the grave? Chapter 90. O Jehovah, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before, wait. I'm gonna have to stop.